this session. So hi everyone, today we'll be talking about how to create an outstanding resume. What is a resume? Even as I defined earlier last week, your resume is your sales documents. It's simply the interface between the recruiter and yourself. It's an interface between the recruiter and yourself. So that's simply your resume. And your resume in Nigeria is called a CV. It's either called a CV or a resume. Now, this said, how should a resume look like? A resume should only contain important details. Last year, I wrote a tweet that went viral. Around over 200,000 people saw the tweet, and this was the content of it. Now, ensure that your resume does not contain excessive personal details of yours. And when I mean personal details, this has to do with details like your full addresses, details like your date of birth, details like your religion, Christianity, family, and so ensure it doesn't contain excessive details. So what details should your resume contain? Just 3 basic details. The first has to do with your email address. Why? The recruiter or the hiring manager will be able to contact you through your email address. The second detail should be your phone number. Now, in the case where they are unable to reach you through the email address with ease, for example, if you are the type that do Slack with your emails and you don't open emails every time in a day, that is a big red flag, but then the recruiter will be able to reach you through your phone number. But I do advise all job seekers, if you're serious about job seeking, ensure you open your email at least 3 times in a day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and then in the evening. Okay, for me, the first thing I open anytime I stand up from bed is my email, because that is the most important part of my career and everyday life, and all communications are from there. I even reply faster via email than even via other communications, so LinkedIn, Twitter, or WhatsApp. Okay, that being said, the third thing which it should contain after your phone number should be your portfolio. Your portfolio, as I said earlier, is the collection of all your works. Now, I gave an assignment last week. Put all your works in one place. If you're a programmer, I expect your portfolio should be your GitHub. Ensure you update all your works, all the design, all the code you've written in GitHub. And that will make it perfect. Now, if you are a marketer, ensure you use a website or journal portfolio, or you can use LinkedIn as your portfolio. So these are the 3 basic elements. I will repeat. The first element after your name should be your phone numbers, the next should be your email, and then the last should be basically your portfolio. Okay, I hope you all can see my screen. If you can see my screen, kindly reply yes in the chat box. So I will be talking about how then to position your resume. Your resume shouldn't be a fancy document. It should be straight to the point. It should be something simple. I've reviewed around 13,000 resumes since last year. And then what I found out is many people invest so much time in their resume, putting in great design, and that is a very bad one, especially for a system called the ATS. What is the ATS? The ATS is a system that automatically reads your resume into text. So it converts your resume into text and then places them directly even towards each other. Okay, as you can see, the first details, the 4 basic details, which has to do with your background information, your resume should be your name, your LinkedIn or your portfolio, your phone number, and then your email. These basic details are very, very important. Now, that is your background information. Now, if you're a student or if you're currently schooling, any of the above, now the next section should be your education. Your education should be your next section. Now, in your education, you talk about the name of your tertiary institution. For example, you are currently doing your MBA in Nesford University. So you put the name Nesford University. Now, the next should be your major or your degree. What course are you studying? Is it computer science? Is it agricultural science? Then you put in your course and your CGPA. Please kindly take note of this. If your CGPA is second class, upper, and first class, include it in your resume. If it's not, please kindly erase it because that is a big red flag to employers. So if it's 3.5 and above in the space of 5.0, kindly include it there. Let me give an emphasis on that. An emphasis is how employers, especially us, look at it is you are a student. If you are not excellent in your academics, you'll be very poor at the job. So that's how employer look at it. You are a student. If you are not excellent in your academics, you will be very poor at the job. So having a low CGPA, especially third class and second class lower most of the time, is a big red flag to organizations. That's why you say you submit applications out there and you are not considered for the role. And then if you're a student looking for internship, graduation date is very important, especially if you're looking for programs that will sponsor your visa. Just last week, a recruiter from Uber reached out to me about the APM, Associate Program Manager in Uber. So the application came out around last week, and then this is currently ongoing. If there is anyone doing program management and you are very interested, kindly contact me after this, and I'm going to send you the referral link and connect you to the recruiter. So let's go down straight. After the educational section, if you are a student, ensure it's educational section before experience. But if you are done schooling or you are out of school, ensure your work experience section come first. Ensure your work experience section come first. I hope you all get it. If you get that, kindly put in the chat box. I got it. And am I still audible? Oh, awesome. So I believe I am audible. So in your work experience section, this is very important. Let me say this. If you're just starting and you've not previously worked in any company, I wanted to change that work experience section to portfolio. A minute, let me do that here. Change the.
Please repeat.
Can you recap? So change the work. I will give time for question and please. So kindly change the work experience section to portfolio. Now in your portfolio, it will still be the same flow. And then I want you all to pay attention to the next thing I'm about to say. Now in your portfolio, in the company, include the name of the company. For example, personalize. In the position, include your current position. Now, let me give you this tweak. If you're looking at applying for a growth, a back-end developer role. If you're looking at applying for a back-end developer role, sorry for that. So if you're looking at applying for a back-end developer role, now what you need to do is you have to specify the role even as exact in the job application. I hope you got that. Can you see my screen currently on LinkedIn? You can see that, right? Okay, awesome. So I will look for this role, back-end developer. So if you're looking at backend developer job, so ensure what you have in the company is same thing with what is in the job title. Let me quickly make an edit of this. I think I won't be pushing this out. I'll be making this private. So what you have here is for this, if you're applying for job, and the name of the company will be including personalized, the position, so I'm assuming a backend developer. Now, and the date, when you start and then when you end. Now, coming to this section, this is a very important part. Now, the section should always be achieve X as measured as Y, achieve S by doing Y as measured by Z, achieve X by doing Y as measured as Z. Or you can talk about what you did in that company and then what was the achievement and the results which it brought about. Now, this is very, very simple. What you did, the achievement, and then what results. Let me cite an example. As a backend developer, we're looking at the backend developer. Now, what you did as a backend developer is you create APIs to be consummated. Okay. For the front end thing to consume. Now, this is what you achieved. Now, how did you create your API? Now, you can create your API through Node.js or any other programming language which you used. And then how was this measured? That led to product launch 2 months earlier than the proposed dates. Now you can see what I've done. Sorry, let this be in past tense. Now, what I've done is I spoke about what I did, what I achieved. Through the technology I made it, I used to achieve this. And then how was this measured? It was measured by we were able to launch our product. I hope we all understand this. Do we? Let me say yes or no. Awesome. So I'll be going for the marketing. So assume you are a growth marketer. Now, following this, achieve S by doing Y as measured as Z. Now, what I want to do, okay, let me leave this. Now, what I want to do there is I want to talk about my achievement, and the achievement is got $200,000 from the marketing spend while increasing revenue by 2x year over year. Okay, I've talked about what I achieved. Now, how did I do it? Now, through migration from Keep to Sendinblue. From Keep, through migration from Keep even onto Sendinblue. Now, that is how I did it. Now, how was this measured? And this was measured by, let's say, communication with the CEO. a communication with the CEO, or an annual as measured by the annual company employee review, annual company review. So you talk about basically what you achieved in the company, how you achieved that, and then how it was measured. Now, when you do this, this is a very important part. When you can do this, ensure that per company, you have a minimum of 3 bullet points and a maximum of 5 bullet points. Ensure the bullet points is a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 5. Now, once 5 bullet points, 3 bullet points. So what you want to do, no matter how long you work in that company, whether 2 years, whether 3 years, you want to pick in 3 to 5 achievements you are most proud of. Okay. Do everyone get that? If you got that, please kindly type yes in the chat box so we can move. Now, same with your previous company. And lastly, lest I forget, ensure your work experience and either your education are all in chronological order. What did I mean? Now, if you work on a job 2020, in this place, let's say 2022, ensure the latest date is above you. 2020 can't come before 2022. So it has to be 2022, March, let's say August 2019 to March 2022. And this has to do with April 2020 to August. Sorry, let me see, this is 2020. April 2015 to August 2020. Am I in the right track? Yep. So ensure they are all in chronological order. Please, these also be here, not here. Dates. And these also be here. Okay, that being said, I hope we'll all understand the process of the work experience, the education, the background details. Now let's move down to the next session, the leadership experience. Now, in your leadership experience, you want to talk about your soft skill. Now, this is the time where you display your soft skill. Now, what soft skill do you have? And soft skill has to do with hard work, people management, communication, teamwork. Now, this is where you want to display it. And the best way to do this is by looking at what leadership capacity have you held within institution or your work environment in time past. Let's assume you were the secretary during the Enatos group in campus. So what you want to include here is the name of the company, Enatos, and then your position there, secretary. Now, what did you achieve, even why as the secretary, that led to collective achievement of the campus? Now, you want to specify using the same flow, achieve S by doing Y as measured by Z. Now, we're done with the leadership section. Now, the leadership section follow suit with everything that has been said here. You have 3 to 5 bullet points, and don't forget the flow. And then the skill. Now you want to talk about the skill. This is a very important part. Now, ensure that every skill listed in your job, which you have. For example, I look at the requirement and skill, and then what I'm looking here is you can have either Java, Ruby, PHP, Python knowledge. So every skill, let's say I'm proficient with Java, I have to come down to my skill and then include the programming language, Java. Now you have to include every skill and ensure the skill is at least 70% of this work experience. So what does that mean? If there are 5 requirements here, you have to meet 3 of the requirements. Now ensure APIs. APIs is a skill. I would put creating APIs or microservice and the likes. And then you include this for every aspect of your skill. One more thing, ensure that every skill you list here, you've already spoken about it in your work experience. For example, I'm listing Java, and then during my achievement, I spoke only about all my experience in total. I spoke only about using Node.js. That is very wrong. Now you want to tell the recruiter or the hiring manager that you made use of Java to create something that is beneficial to the organization. I hope you got that. Now, if you're using LinkedIn as a social media tool, Twitter as a social media tool, you want to show how you grow social media on Twitter, you want to show how you grow LinkedIn accounts and even the likes. And the last part, your interest. Your interest has to do with what you are interested in. This has to do with your leisure. For example, I love visiting natural places like park, reserve, and forest reserve, and so you have to put your interest here. You can put I love watching film, or I love playing COD gaming. So anything interesting outside work should come into that interest path. Okay. That being said, that's basically how to write the resume. I'm going to go through that again. The first thing you need to do is ensure your background details are very few. Just your name, your portfolio. This has to do with your portfolio, your LinkedIn, if it's updated, your email, and then your phone number. Once you are a student, ensure this comes first. Then if you are not a student, ensure your experience comes first. And then next is your educational, if you graduated. Now in your education, ensure you follow the company name, your role, and then you achieve X by doing Y as measured by Z landmark. And then in your education, if your CGPA cumulative is less than 3.5, please exclude it and do not impute it, okay? If it's greater, second class, upper first class, kindly put it in there because it gives you more benefit and competitive advantage. In your leadership section, include the position which you had within NGOs, within club, within societies in there. In your skill, ensure every skill you put in here are the skill generally required by the job, and ensure you speak about how you use those skills in the work experience section. So that's very important. So at this moment, I want to say thank you for listening, and I'll be taking questions. Do you have any question?
Yes, I have a question, sir.
Please go ahead.
Okay, now, for example, I'll talk about me that, okay, I have a skill as a front-end developer, and but I stopped as an SSC. So is it required for me to put my education also there as an SSC holder?
So,
Like
sorry,
secondary?
can you recall?
Okay, I said I have a skill as a front-end developer,
Okay.
but I stopped at SSC, like
Okay.
secondary school. I didn't take it. So is it right for me to also put my SSC education there below the work experience? That's
Please,
one.
please. Okay. Okay. Move to the other. So I just take the two together.
Okay. So the second one on that leadership, can I, because I think I attend Catholic, so we have what we call a stay on the youth gathering. So I'm one of the former vice coordinator, which held about 1,000 to 2,000 people as a leader. So is it advisable to put that also in the leadership?
Okay. Thank you so much. So for the first question, should you put any education that is less than tertiary institution? Please do not put it. Do not impute it there. The best you can do is this. You've taken online courses, you've taken educational degree, let's say Udemy, and so instead replace it with that. Instead of putting an SSC, just put only tertiary institution in there that has to do with bachelor, polytechnic, or if you're in Nigeria, or if you're outside, for those that will be streaming these that are outside, include your MBA, your PhD, and the likes. Anything less, do not put it. Instead, put in online degree which you've run, an online course which you run in place of that. Okay, that's understood. Now the next, should you put position that is related to religion, organization. Yes, please put it. Now, what you want to show there is your people skill, how you were able to manage it. Remember, I told you the leadership has to do with your soft skill. Now, what is your teamwork, your communication, and then how did you lead growth in the organization? So please put it there. Any other question? I think we can take some questions. I hope that is perfectly understood. Greater?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome. So let's go to Paul. Paul, go ahead, please. Paul, you have the floor.
Right, sorry. Thank you for the insights. I just need some clarification concerning the leadership skills. Let's say, okay, let me just say myself, I have not really been put in positions where I would say I will lead people. Yes, I've been in gatherings where we had to work together and do something, but I'm not sure. That is not, I can't call that something that I led the team or something like that. So I'm not sure I'll be able to put that on my resume.
Okay. For the leadership, everyone has one or two leadership experience. So you just have to think about it. What have you done for people? It might be an event which you co-organize or which you supported in organizing. It might be a club, it might be a group of people which you mentor, which you encourage. Now, that is where leadership comes in. It might be during when you are learning, during your learning process, taking in as an accountability partner. And so, hope you understand. You have one of these, right? Oh, awesome.
Yes, I have one of these.
Awesome.
Sorry, I have another question. Concerning the online certificate. I can put my tertiary institution, my current CGP. Can I also put it with my certificates?
Certificates?
Online certificates, like when you take some online courses.
In the education section, right?
Sir?
In the education section, right?
Yes, sir.
Online certificates are good, but then if you are just starting up and your CV is, there is still space in your one-page CV. You can put your online certificate. Call that section certification section. But then if it's going into 2-page, ensure that your CV is 1 page. That is very important. Now, if the certificates are very important and very essential and from essential bodies, for example, a well-known association, you can include that as the certificate, as that will give you more edge, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, EMC, you have the floor.
Okay, you talked about talking about your skills in the work experience section. What if you have skills that were not required in your former work experience and maybe they are part of the new job description that you want to apply for? So can you add them without talking about them in your work experience section?
You can't. This is how you can navigate through that. If the previous company you've worked with, you did not use in that skill, definitely you should have done projects that require that skill. So what you do is you create another section called projects, and then you talk about the projects you've done and then how you use the skill to achieve that. Understood? So in essence, the idea of everything is ensure every skill you're talking about is you've applied it, and then you have a link, a proof, or a portfolio to that project also. You got that right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I think any other question before we call it a day?
I'm sorry, sir. It's not really a question. I just want to know, will we have the recording of this video? So can be able to record?
I will send the recording to Road, and you will receive it on the community and then via email. So I want to thank you all for listening and for joining today. Let me see, you can ask the question through the community. Thank you so much for joining, and do have a nice day. Bye, guys. Do have a nice day.